So this week I played Assassin's Creed Shadows. Here are my first impressions of the game. Overall, I have very mixed feelings about my time with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's start with the dual protagonists. AC Shadows has two playable characters that each have a very distinct playstyle and weapon kit. On the one hand, Nawe is a very stealth-oriented character, and Yasuke is the character that is more skilled in open combat. On the one hand, while it's cool to have two protagonists that have distinct toolkits that they can use in combat, on the other hand, it kind of feels like having two characters that have half of a toolkit compared to previous AC protagonists. The combat and stealth are pretty similar to the most recent AC games, but there are some notable changes to be aware of. For starters, it's time to say bye-bye birdie because we no longer have a bird that we can use for scouting objectives. Instead, we have to climb to a high vantage point and then use our character's line of sight to tag objectives and enemies. Also, exploration has been revamped. Climbing and synchronizing towers no longer reveals every objective on the map. Instead, you have to use the new scouting feature to unlock new objective markers, or just wander the world yourself to find new places of interest. The combat and weapon variety in the game is very fun. Each playable character has their own combat toolkit with 3 different weapon types for melee, as well as additional options for ranged attacks. But there are some issues with jank in the game, particularly with the parkour. Sometimes your character will get stuck in place or glued to the environment, and overall the movement is not as smooth as I would like it to be with parkour. Also, the combat indoors is a nightmare because the camera is just absolutely terrible in any close quarters environment. I really hope that Ubisoft will continue to work on and refine this before release. So overall, I don't think Assassin's Creed Shadows is a bad game, but I also don't think it's going to be this next generation defining ultimate Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft wants it to be.